First paragraph, last but one line after RSA. There should be a comma there. And then adopted this communique. We need to add this communique.
This is the final communique.
Merci.
What?
Objection par rapport.
Thank you. Any objection to that proposal for the English version? No?
La parole.
You have the floor.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I don't understand that. In Midrand, Johannesburg, Republic of South Africa, he has asked for the insertion of a comma. I think that is okay, but adopted this as the final communique. I don't think anything is wrong with that. If you say adopted this communique, adopted this as the final communique, that is the conventional phraseology, I'm afraid.
De toutes les manières,
In any event, it's a question of options of the way we're going to word it. In the French version, it says in Midrand, comma, Johannesburg in the Republic of South Africa, comma, adopted follows by way of the final communique. That's what actually word by word the translation is. In English, is the fact that we don't keep this wording. Is that going to prevent the reader to understand that it's a final communique? So I think it's a question of options. I don't think we're going to spend more time on this, dear colleagues. Thank you. Is there any other objection? On the first paragraph? Yes, I think that even in French, Mr. Chairperson, we can take away the communiqué final because it stands on the cover page that it is a final communiqué. So, in order to avoid repetition in both the English and French versions, we can take away that which says adopted this as the final communiqué. Thank you. Any other objections concerning the first, the amendments proposed to the first paragraph? We move on to the second paragraph, which starts with pursuant to and ends in common interest. Any amendments proposed? No? Third paragraph, noting until advantages for Africa. Zambia, you have the floor.
Sorry to have to drag you back to the first paragraph. When you remove adopted this as a final communique in the first paragraph, I believe that's what we've done. Is that correct? Is it standing? Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Troisième paragraphe, s'il vous plaît.
Third paragraph, please. Noting, etc. No amendments. Fourth, considering until legislative powers.
Pas d'amendement.
No amendment. The fifth paragraph, recognizing until Pan-African Parliament. No. Six, from reaffirming the commitment until Malabo Protocol. Zambia.
This is a juncture where I was proposing the addition of the word "the" after reaffirming.
Merci, ça va de soi.
Thank you. That's pretty obvious. Any other amendment to the paragraph reaffirming? Taking into consideration the 7th paragraph until held on 3 August 2016. Yes.
Oui, on avait déjà. Vous pouvez prendre la parole.
You can have the floor for the 7th paragraph.
We are going to take into consideration the value and enriching contributions. I don't think it makes sense in English. Either they are valuable or because we cannot say value and enriching. I think it's valuable. We are acknowledging the valuable contributions of the speakers. So valuable, and then not contributions for but of the speakers of regional and national parliaments. And then I had added a new paragraph noting that to date, only 2 member states have ratified and deposited the protocol. As the 7th paragraph, before we resolve.
Par rapport à la première.
As far as the first concern, which could have some sort of an effect on the actual form, so we will keep the amendment. The second amendment, we would there's a proposal that we should mention the 2 states that already ratified. Is there any objection? No. I think that one should rather say only 2 states have ratified. And so what do you propose actually as the wording concerning those 2 states? What would you recommend?
Noting that to date, only 2 member states have ratified and deposited the protocol.
Ça va c'est en harmonie avec ce que vous avez proposé.
Yes, so that is what you're proposing. Any objection to that? Mr. President, during the last summit of the African used the wording that you've adopted, or that you'd like to adopt, but the heads of state and government said that we should name the 2 states who have ratified. I don't think this is something automatic, but in their spirit, that would be a motivation for the others. I was corrected because they said only 2 states have ratified and deposited the instrument of ratification. And the issue was that they wanted to know who were the 2 states. I was obliged to say that it was Mali and Sierra Leone, and that was accepted.
Nous pensons que
we think that it is right. Thank you. So the names of the 2 states may be stated unless there's any somebody's asking for the floor. Is there an objection? Yeah, thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Chairperson. I'd like to put this into context, which 2 states, it's very few in comparison to all of them. Only saying 2 states and then giving their names is going to diminish the action that's been taken. I think that our work is to sensitize the other states and not to mention in the final communique the fact that only 2 out of 54 have stayed. It lessens the work that the Parliament has done and our Honourable President. So what we need to do is to encourage. It's a position which I think is perhaps more correct, to keep the credibility of all the work which has been done by the volunteers of the African Parliament. Thank you, Mr. President.
D'une part, vous avez la parole.
Floor.